I started out at a small production company out of Louisville back when I graduated from college because the production company was getting the rights to my dad's Left Behind series. And so they knew I wanted to be in film, and so I started kind of at the bottom rung of the ladder and slowly worked my way up, or a few years before then I could start something with my dad. So my dad and I were kind of a team for a while, our own production company. And now, right now, my biggest project, I've got some partners working on this show, The Chosen, which is what my primary focus is now. The other, I think, way that networking can be defined is maybe less horizontal and more vertical. Like starting at the bottom of whatever ladder you want to climb can oftentimes be the best way to get to where you want. And so I started kind of at the bottom rung of the ladder and slowly worked my way up, or a few years before then I could start something with my dad. When you're networking in the mainstream world, everything in networking involves making a personal connection. People want to work with people that they like, that they have similar interests with. So part of networking involves getting to know things about the people that you're meeting and trying to find common ground. In the mainstream world, it's a little bit more challenging, especially if you're a believer, because the things that you're most passionate about are typically not shared by the majority of people that you're meeting. So you have to work a lot harder to find things. You have to do more research, essentially, to find things that you can find common ground with. When you're networking with other believers or at a Christian event or whatever, there's a shorthand. You have that foundation that's already there. You know how to, you don't need to take a whole lot of time to figure out if you share the same values. You know you already do. You're working from that foundation. Now you can get to the business part a little quicker without having to worry about whether that person shares your values or not. So the project that I'm working on now is the biggest project and most important project in my life. And I'm partnered with people that I didn't even know a year ago. It came because I was open-handed to God, saying, I'm willing to never make another movie again as long as it means that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And I concentrated on a project that I was working on in that moment. And that project led to things and led to relationships that I never would have found on my own. And so it was coming off of a professional disappointment, which got my attention and made me say, I'm not going to try so hard on it's got to be this way and it's got to be with these people. I'm going to try hard on it's got to be for this guy, this God, this Jesus. And if it's for him, then the rest ends up taking care of itself. And that sounds like a cliche, and I can't say that you're supposed to just totally rely on that, because you still have to do your part in working hard. But I was working hard and listening to God and not trying to force feed relationships. And that's when the best relationships in my career took place. Yeah, you can't plan it, and the more that you force feed everything, the more you find yourself relying on yourself. So that doesn't mean you don't work hard. It doesn't mean you don't peek through every open window and take a step through every open door. It doesn't mean that it's going to end up where you want it, but you should at least explore everything. It's just that when something seems to not be working, it's okay to go, you know what, even as much as I thought I wanted that clearly isn't what God has for me, and I'm listening. And if you're willing to listen, and I'm telling you, it happens almost every time, that where you end up is a long way from where you would have predicted you were going to go. And almost every time I found that at the end of a project, how it happened was nowhere near how I thought it was or what I was planning.